Before we deconstruct the brutal mathematical liquidation of an entry-level job market and the algorithmic eradication of traditional corporate ladder, I have exactly three critical questions for you to answer in the comments below. Number one, are you currently perfecting your entry-level resume and preparing to start at the bottom? Completely blind to the fact that autonomous AI agents have already hired to execute your target roles. Number two, do you understand the lethal structural difference between a competing against a biological peer for a junior position and competing against an algorithmic swarm that never sleeps, never complains, and requires zero onboarding? Number three, if the traditional corporate apprentice is mathematically dead, do you possess the structural blueprint to skip the junior phase and transition directly into a high level strategic architecture? Let me know your answer. For those who are new, I'm Dr. HR. I approach the global labor and capital market not with emotional, comforting advice, but as a cold, structural, algorithmic system. I hold a PhD in human resources, a master's from prestigious Tata Institute of Social Sciences TISS in Mumbai, and a bachelor's in computer engineering. Operating on the ground here in Dubai since 2010, consulting for Tier 1 corporate entities, sovereign wealth funds, and apex tech founders across the Middle East and India, I monitor exactly how the global talent is valued, commoditized, and deleted. The market does not reward you for waiting your turn. It rewards absolute, uncompromising cognitive orchestration. The entry level job market isn't just shrinking, it is being systematically liquidated. The ladder you are trying to climb has been violently pulled up by autonomous agent. Cognitive labor is being automated at a scale that renders junior roles obsolete overnight. While you were formatting your cover letters, algorithms become the new preferred hires for the cognitive grunt work. If your career plan involves starting at the bottom and working your way up, your path has officially been deleted by an equation. Before I completely dismantle the illusion of corporate apprentice, expose the exact mechanics of an AI-driven entry-level collapse, and give you the precise architectural blueprint to transition from manual execution to sovereign architecture, hit the subscribe button and press the notification bell. I post daily videos showing you exactly how to navigate the global labor and capital market using cold, hard engineering logic. You do not want to miss these execution protocols. Stop applying for the bottom rung. Start orchestrating the machine. Grab a notebook, it is time to audit your obsolescence. Phase 1, the provocative warning, the liquidation of the junior. We must first diagnose the exact debilitating economic illusion that universities and legacy career counselors are currently selling to millions of graduates across Bangalore, Silicon Valley, and the UAE mainland. For the last century, the corporate architecture was built on a very specific biological pyramid. At the top sat the executives and senior partner. At the bottom sat a massive wide base of juniors, entry-level analysts, junior developers, marketing associates, and paralegals. The implicit contract was the cognitive apprenticeship. The corporation paid the junior a low wage to perform high, repetitive, low risk cognitive grunt work, formatting spreadsheets, conducting basic legal research, checking compliance document, and writing boilerplate code. In exchange, the junior gained industry context, absorbed the corporate culture, and slowly climbed the pyramid. In June 2026, that base of the pyramid has been mathematically severed. If we apply the principle of Lean Six Sigma and value stream mapping to the modern corporate workflow, the junior employee is now classified as pure muda, absolute waste. Why? Because autonomous AI agents have become the new preferred hires. A junior requires 4 hours of HR onboarding, a laptop, health insurance, sick days, and continuous mentorship from a senior executive. An AI agent requires an API key. The biological junior reads a 100-page financial report in 4 hours and produces a flawed summary. The agentic swarm ingests 10,000 pages of unstructured data across 3 different languages, cross-reference it against the real-time global market telemetry, and outputs a flawless executive brief in 14 seconds. The entry-level lower was designed to be a sandbox for human learning. The global capital market has decided it is no longer willing to subsidize that learning. If your career strategy relies on a corporation paying you to learn the basics, you are walking into a slaughterhouse. Phase 2, the reality check, the economics of 24/7 agenda. To understand the sheer magnitude of this transition, we must look at the brutal physics of a corporate leverage and execution velocity. Let us examine the banking sector. When executing the financial remediation pipeline for Tier 1 institution, the legacy model was highly predictable. If the bank needed to audit 50,000 legacy client accounts for Know Your Customer, the KYC, or anti-money laundering AML compliance gaps, they deployed 200 junior analysts. It was a manual, high-friction, deeply biological process prone to exhaustion and error. Today, the entire pipeline is automated. The sovereign architect deploys a specialized swarm of autonomous agents. The agents do not require coffee breaks. They do not suffer from cognitive fatigue at 4 p.m. Let us run the structural equation that every chief financial officer is currently reviewing. Junior liability equals to training friction plus biological error rate, agentic swarm velocity. Now, when the denominator, the speed and the scale of the AI approaches infinity, the value of the biological junior drops to zero. The ladder you are trying to climb has been pulled up. Autonomous agents are taking over the exact cognitive task that historically served as a training wheel for the white-collar professional. Basic copywriting, primary data synthesis, junior graphic design, Tier 1 support, and entry-level quality assurance, these are not shrinking sectors. They are dead sectors. We are exploring the brutal reality of a bifurcated economy. The market no longer has room for apprentice. You are either the cheap, uncomplaining algorithmic executing the task, or you are highly compensated sovereign architect directing the algorithms. There is no middle ground. Phase 3, the apprenticeship paradox. How do we build seniors? If the junior roles are completely eliminated, we arrive at the most terrifying structural crisis facing modern human resources: the apprenticeship paradox. If a junior financial analyst is never permitted to build a basic DCF model because the AI does it instantly, how do they ever develop the deep financial intuition required to lead a sovereign wealth fund? The legacy HR infrastructure has no answer for this. They are blindly firing their juniors to boost short-term margins, completely unaware that they are destroying their future leadership pipeline. But as a high agency operator, you cannot wait for the corporation to solve this paradox. You must solve it yourself. You must realize that the burden of the apprentice has been completely privatized. The company will no longer train you. You must train yourself, and you must do it in the shadows. You do not learn by executing low-level tasks for a boss. You learn by simulating the apex. You must build your own private AI test environment. You must force the LLM to generate high-complexity scenarios, and you must aggressively audit their output. You must transition your mindset from a student who absorbs the information to a QA director who stress test algorithms logic. You skip the junior phase entirely by walking into an interview and demonstrating that you are already possessing the architectural judgment of a senior operator. Phase 4, the regional arbitrage, the India-UAE corridor. We must localize this massive macroeconomic shift of a highest growth regions on the UAE and India. This is where the death of a junior is creating the most violent economic friction. The Indian IT and BPO collapse. For the last 25 years, the entire economic miracle of Indian IT services sectors was built on a junior arbitrage. Massive conglomerates recruited hundreds of thousands of fresh graduates every year to perform basic coding, software testing, and business process outsourcing, the BPO. That model is currently imploding. Generative AI has obliterated the value of an offshore cognitive grunt work. Why pay a junior developer in Hyderabad when an enterprise AI model deployed locally in New York can write the code instantly with zero latency? For the young Indian professional, this is a moment of absolute crisis. You can no longer rely on campus placements to secure your future. The volume based hiring engine is dead. To survive, Indian talent must aggressively pivot from a manual execution to architectural orchestration, selling your ability to design the deep logic systems that govern the UAE high velocity mandate. Across the UAE, specifically within the Dubai Economic Agenda, the D33 framework, the market demands absolute operational velocity. When a multi-billion dirham real estate project or a massive fintech integration is launched in the DIFC, the stakeholders do not have the patience to integrate junior expats who need to learn the ropes. The cost of living and the spatial friction of Dubai are too high to subsidize training. The UAE market exclusively hunts for a plug-and-play sovereignty. They want an executive and specialized operator who can step into the chaotic room on day one, deploy an agentic workflow, and immediately drive revenue. If you move to Dubai expecting to start at the bottom and slowly earn your keep, you will bankrupt and repatriate it within 8 months. Phase 5. The strategic pivot, becoming the sovereign architect. We have diagnosed the liquidation of an entry-level market, calculated the economics of a 24/7 agent, exposed the apprenticeship paradox, and mapped the India-UAE reality. The final phase is your immediate execution blueprint. If the junior role is a death sentence, how do you mathematically transition into an architect who manages the digital workforce? You must execute the strategic pivot. Step 1. Liquidate the intern mindset. You must violently eradicate the psychological desire to be told what to do. The junior mindset waits for instruction. The sovereign architect surveys the chaos, defines a parameter, and issues the instruction to the machine. You must stop asking, "How do I do this task?" and start asking, "How do I build a system that executes the task autonomously?" Step 2. Master deep logic architecture. The amateur professional thinks the future is about writing good prompt. That is a massive illusion. Prompt engineering is already dying, commoditized skill. You must master deep logic architecture. You must understand how to engineer complex structural algorithmic thinking. You move beyond simple chat interface and learn how to construct a multi-agent workflow, where Agent A extracts the data, Agent B audits it against a compliance framework, and Agent C formats the final executive brief. You do not do the work, you build the factory that does the work. Step 3. Apply value stream mapping to your career. Audit your daily output using learn principle. Track every action you perform. If your action is repetitive, highly structured, and requires low emotional intelligence, it is a muda, the waste. It is a target for automation. You must actively divest from these tasks. Push them to the AI. You must aggressively colonize the high-friction, unautomatable zones of your enterprise. High-stakes client negotiations, resolving cross-departmental ego conflict, and taking absolute legal and ethical accountability for the AI's output. Step 4. Broadcast your architectural dominance. You cannot wait for HR to notice your transition. You must broadcast your sovereignty to the global market. You step into your acoustic-treated digital studio, you deploy your elite Cineline gear, say your Sony FX2 camera, you import your system schematics into DaVinci Resolve 20. You record a highly structured, unsentimental breakdown of exactly how you identified a massive corporate bottleneck, built a deep logic architecture to automate the grunt work, and saved the enterprise thousands of hours in cognitive labor. You broadcast this artifact directly to the C-suite and capital allocators. When they see this, they do not see a junior candidate begging for a chance. They see an apex orchestrator who is ready to command their digital workforce. Phase 6. The architect of momentum. Look at the bottom rungs. They are gone. The 2026 automated economy is completely unforgiving to a manual executor. If you are competing with an AI to perform cognitive grunt work, you have already lost. Algorithm is faster, cheaper, and fundamentally relentless. Stop playing a game that has been deleted. Embrace the death of a junior role. Liquidate your desire for a corporate apprenticeship. Master the deep logic architecture. Step into a high-friction void. Force the global economy to pay you an absolute premium for your ability to orchestrate the machine, process the data, execute the strategy, and I will see you at the top.